Everyone wants discipline. Everyone talks about consistency. Yet 99% of people never achieve either. They start strong, make declarations, create elaborate plans, then collapse within weeks, sometimes days. The gym membership goes unused. The diet lasts 3 days. The morning routine survives until the first difficult morning. The business plan sits unfinished. The goal becomes a memory of good intentions that led nowhere. This isn't because 99% of people are weak. It's because 99% are using the wrong approach. They're trying to build discipline and consistency the way everyone tries. The way that feels right, but doesn't work. The way that requires endless motivation, constant willpower, and perfect conditions. Marcus Aurelius built extraordinary discipline and consistency. He maintained daily practices for decades. He ruled an empire through chaos while adhering to philosophical principles. He wrote the Meditations through consistent practice over years. And he did it without the approach most people use. He wrote, "At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I have to go to work, as a human being." Notice what he didn't say. He didn't say, "I have to feel motivated." He didn't say, "I have to want to get up." He said, "I have to go to work." Discipline isn't about feeling. It's about structure. Consistency isn't about motivation. It's about system. This video will show you what 99% don't do. The approaches they skip, the foundations they ignore, the systems they never build. Not because these things are secret, because they're unsexy. They don't promise quick results, they don't feel dramatic. They require patience most people don't have. But they work. They're what separates the 1% who build lasting discipline from the 99% who keep starting over. Watch carefully, because you're about to learn why your previous attempts failed and what to do differently this time. What 99% don't do. Number 1. They don't start ridiculously small. Everyone wants to start big. Complete transformation, maximum effort, total commitment. They decide they'll wake at 5 a.m., work out 2 hours, eat perfectly, work 8 focused hours, read for an hour, meditate, journal, all starting tomorrow. This lasts 3 days maximum because it's unsustainable. Too much change, too much activation energy required, too far from current baseline. Then they quit. And because they aimed so high, falling back feels like complete failure. Marcus Aurelius didn't build his discipline through dramatic transformation. He built it through small, consistent practice. One thing, done daily. Becoming automatic before adding more. The principle is ridiculously small starting points. So small they seem pointless. So small you can't fail. So small there's no excuse. Want to build exercise consistency? Don't start with hour-long workouts. Start with 1 push-up. Literally 1. Every day. Same time. 1 push-up. This seems absurd. That's why it works. You can't say you don't have time for 1 push-up. You can't be too tired for 1 push-up. You can't lack motivation for 1 push-up. The barrier to action is 0. Want to build reading consistency? Don't commit to a book per week. Start with 1 page daily. Same time. That's it. Want to build meditation practice? Don't start with 30 minutes. Start with 3 breaths. Conscious, deliberate, 3 breaths. Daily. The magic isn't in the 1 push-up. It's in the consistency. In proving to yourself you can maintain a daily practice. In building the identity of someone who does this thing. Every single day. Without exception. Most people skip this step. They think starting small is wasting time. They want results now. So they start big, fail quickly, start over, repeat. That cycle wastes far more time than starting small and building gradually. Marcus Aurelius understood that consistency beats intensity. That daily practice, even small, compounds into extraordinary results over time. That the person who does 1 push-up daily for a year ends up stronger than the person who does 100 push-ups 3 times then quits. Start ridiculously small. So small it's laughable. So small you can't fail. So small you'll actually do it. That's what 99% don't do. And why they fail. What 99% don't do. Number 2. They don't track behavior. They track outcomes. Most people measure results. Pounds lost, money made, projects completed. And when results don't come fast enough, motivation dies. Consistency collapses. Because you're measuring the wrong thing. Marcus Aurelius didn't track outcomes. He tracked practices. Did I practice virtue today? Did I maintain principles under pressure? Did I do what needed to be done? The practice was the measure, not the result. This distinction is critical. You control behavior. You don't control outcomes. You control whether you exercise. You don't control how fast you lose weight. You control whether you do the work. You don't control when success arrives. When you measure outcomes, you're measuring things partially outside your control. And when outcomes don't match effort, you quit, even though your behavior was perfect. When you measure behavior, you're measuring what you control. Did you do the thing you said you'd do? Yes or no? That's the only measure that matters for building consistency. Practical application. Don't track pounds lost. Track workouts completed. Don't track income earned. Track revenue-generating activities done. Don't track projects finished. Track hours of focused work. You're measuring consistency, not results. And consistency is what you control. Get a calendar. Physical calendar. Every day you complete your target behavior, mark an X. Nothing else. Just X for completed. Your only goal is don't break the chain. Don't have a day without an X. This simple tracking builds consistency because it makes behavior visible. You see the chain growing. You don't want to break it. And the measure is binary. Did you do the thing? Yes or no. Not, did you do it perfectly? Not, did you get results? Just, did you do it? This removes the judgment that usually accompanies tracking. You're not evaluating quality or outcomes. Just presence. Just showing up. That's what builds consistency. Most people never do this. They either don't track at all, or they track outcomes that discourage them. Then they wonder why consistency is so hard. Track behavior. Mark the calendar. Build the chain. That's what creates consistency. That's what 99% don't do. What 99% don't do, number 3. They don't plan for obstacles in advance. Everyone plans for perfect conditions. They imagine waking up energized, having time, feeling motivated, and they build plans that require those conditions. Then reality hits. They're tired, they're busy, they don't feel like it. And the plan falls apart because it only worked under perfect conditions. Marcus Aurelius planned for difficulty. He wrote, "When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly." He anticipated obstacles, prepared responses, built his practice to survive difficulty, not just thrive in ease. This is called implementation intentions for obstacles, not just planning what you'll do. Planning what you'll do when obstacles arise. The format is simple. If obstacle, then response. If I'm too tired to exercise, then I'll do half my normal workout. If I'm too busy to read 30 minutes, then I'll read 5 minutes. If I don't feel like working, then I'll work for just 15 minutes. You're not planning to feel perfect. You're planning to maintain consistency even when conditions are terrible. This dramatically increases consistency because obstacles aren't surprises. They're expected, prepared for. You have a plan for the tired days, for the busy days, for the low motivation days. So those days don't break your streak. They just trigger your backup plan. Most people never do this. They build plans for perfect conditions. Then when obstacles arise, they have no response. So they skip. One skip becomes 2. The chain breaks, consistency ends. Build obstacle plans. Write them down. If specific obstacle, then specific backup plan. Cover the major obstacles you know you'll face. Tired, busy, unmotivated, sick, traveling. For each one, have a minimum viable version of your practice. Something you can do even when everything is working against you. That planning is what maintains consistency. That's what 99% don't do. What 99% don't do, number 4. They don't separate the decision from the execution. Most people decide and execute simultaneously. The moment arrives to exercise, They decide whether they'll exercise. Then they execute based on that decision. This kills consistency because decisions require willpower, and willpower varies. Some days it's strong, some days it's weak. When willpower is weak, you decide not to do the thing. Consistency breaks. Marcus Aurelius separated decision from execution. The decision was made once. The execution was automatic. He didn't decide each morning whether to practice philosophy. That decision was made. Morning time was philosophy time. Automatic. No daily decision required. This principle transforms consistency. You decide once what you'll do, when you'll do it, under what conditions. That decision is final. Then execution becomes automatic. The scheduled time arrives. You don't decide. You execute. Practical application. Decide your consistent behavior once. I exercise Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 6 a.m. That's the decision. Final. Decided. Now on Monday at 6 a.m., you don't decide whether to exercise. That decision was made. You just execute. I write every morning from 7 to 8 a.m. Decision made. Each morning at 7 a.m. you don't decide. You write. Automatically. The decision is already made. This eliminates the daily willpower cost of deciding. You're not using willpower to choose to do the thing. You're just doing what was already decided. This seems like a small distinction. It's enormous. Most people use willpower every single day to decide to maintain their practice. Some days willpower wins. Some days it doesn't. So consistency is inconsistent. When you separate decision from execution, willpower is only required once, for the initial decision. After that, you're just following the decision that was already made. Make your disciplined decisions once. Write them down. Treat them as non-negotiable. Then execute automatically without redeciding daily. That's what builds consistency. That's what 99% don't do. What 99% don't do. Number 5. They don't build the skill of returning. Everyone thinks consistency means never missing. Perfect streaks. Unbroken chains. And when they miss once, they think consistency is over. So they quit. The single miss becomes permanent abandonment. Marcus Aurelius missed practices, had bad days, failed to live up to his standards, but he built the most important skill, returning. The skill of getting back on track immediately after any disruption. He wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." When he failed, that failure became the opportunity to practice returning. The skill of returning is simple. When you miss, you return immediately. Next scheduled time. No, I'll start Monday. No, I've already broken the streak. Just immediate return. You miss your morning workout, you don't wait until next week to restart. You hit the next scheduled workout, tomorrow morning, without drama, without guilt. Just return. This skill is what separates people who maintain consistency long-term from people who start over repeatedly. Long-term consistent people miss occasionally. Life happens, but they return immediately. The pattern continues despite the miss. Serial restarters also miss, but they don't return. They abandon. They restart weeks later. The pattern breaks. They're constantly rebuilding instead of maintaining. Build the skill of returning. Practice it deliberately. When you miss, treat it as an opportunity to practice returning. Not a failure, not the end of consistency. Just practice for the skill of getting back on track. The faster you return, the less the miss matters. Miss once, return immediately. The miss is irrelevant. Miss once, abandon for 2 weeks, you've lost all momentum. Most people never build this skill. They treat any miss as failure. So missing becomes failing, and failing becomes quitting. Build the returning skill. Miss without drama, return without delay. That skill maintains consistency through reality. That's what 99% don't do. You've been given the 5 things 99% don't do. Start ridiculously small. So small you can't fail. So small there's no excuse. Track behavior, not outcomes. Measure what you control. Build the chain. Plan for obstacles in advance. Have backup plans for tired, busy, unmotivated days. Separate decision from execution. Decide once, execute automatically. Build the skill of returning. Miss without drama, return without delay. These aren't sexy. They don't promise rapid transformation. They don't feel dramatic or motivating. That's exactly why 99% skip them. People want the exciting version. The dramatic commitment, the impressive transformation. They don't want to start with one push-up. They don't want to just track X's on a calendar. They don't want to plan for obstacles. They don't want to admit they'll need the skill of returning. So they skip these foundations, and they fail, repeatedly. They blame willpower, motivation, circumstances. But the real problem is missing these foundations. Marcus Aurelius built legendary discipline and consistency. He maintained practices through plague, war, betrayal, and chaos. Not because he had superhuman willpower, because he did these 5 things. He started small and built gradually. He tracked practice, not results. He planned for obstacles. He decided once and executed automatically. He returned immediately after any disruption. Those foundations created consistency that lasted decades. Through conditions that would break most people, you can build the same foundations. Starting today, choose one behavior you want to make consistent. Apply these 5 principles. Start ridiculously small. 1 push-up, 1 page, 3 breaths. Whatever the behavior is, start with the minimum viable version. Track it. Calendar. X's. Build the chain. Don't track outcomes. Track presence. Plan obstacles. If tired, then half workout. If busy, then 5 minutes instead of 30. If unmotivated, then 15 minutes instead of an hour. Write these down. Decide once. This behavior happens at this time on these days. Final decision. No daily redeciding. Execute automatically. Build the return skill. When you miss, return immediately. Next scheduled time. No drama. No guilt. Just return. That's the complete system. All 5 principles applied to one behavior. Build that solid over 30 days. Then add a second behavior using the same 5 principles. Layer them. One at a time. Each built properly before adding the next. This approach seems slow compared to the dramatic transformation everyone else attempts. It's actually faster. Because you're building once instead of starting over repeatedly. Because you're creating real consistency instead of temporary motivation. Because you're doing what works instead of what feels exciting. Marcus Aurelius proved this approach 20 centuries ago. You can prove it starting today. Not through superhuman effort, through proper foundations. Through the 5 things 99% don't do. Like this video if you're ready to do what 99% won't. Subscribe if you're ready to build real consistency through proper foundations. Because this isn't about dramatic transformation. This is about sustainable building. And you just learned the foundations.